How do you think this book compares to some of your other shorter novels, like Bit of Golem or A Kid's Book? Or do you find it difficult to compare them?
No, I mean, but it's a different technique, and this is one of the things. Like, if I talk about a bit of Golem or Onely or a kid's book, they all have different aims. I could not. It would not have been effective to use a bit of Golem technique or Onely's technique here because it wouldn't have served the purpose. This had to be little moments, and taking these little notes as I did for all the months that I worked there, it provided the perfect vehicle, the form, and the form followed the function, just like in a lot of poems. If I had tried to use total immersion here, it would have been ridiculous. Maybe a couple of teachers I could have captured, but I never really had uh, anything more than 5 or 6 minutes of a conversation. And you know, Ben does mention some of the teachers that he thinks are nice. A couple of teachers give him some when he goes away and is leaving. Some of them give him some presents and whatnot, and he's clearly the most liked, the only custodian that's probably liked by the teachers in his area, or most of them. And what is that noise? Oh, you rattling a pen or something? I hear it.
No, no. I'm not sure what it is.
You're typing. Oh,
Oh, I'm
okay.
not typing.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, so the form follows the function. Every book is like that. The total immersion worked well for Norwegian in the Family, for Vincetti Brothers, and some of the other longer books. But this needed to be just punching it out. And there are some that are literally just 3 or 4 words in a sentence, and that's the whole little vignette. And that's all that needs to be seen or said.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a thought too. Like the greater my mind gets, the more it feels constrained, something to that sort. And then it has the same sentence, and the reader has to choose which one is better.
Yeah.
Which version of it?
Yeah.
Do you recall what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that develops too when I would, because each thing is I would write down. When I did the book, I would write. I have a list of things that happened, but I also would plug them into the particular month so that because and initially sometimes I misremembered in the course of writing. I say, oh no, that happened 2 or 3 months afterwards. So some things I remember writing down the date of what happened, but other things like the bull toad incidents or seeing the moon or seeing hares or deer running across at night or other stuff. Those are not particularly needed to know the exact date and times those happened. But I think I'd be hard pressed to think about a book that really tackles the job. Even something like Upton Sinclair's muckraking novels, like the one about the slaughterhouse. What was it called? Upton Sinclair. Uh, uh, People would know the Upton Sinclair book. I'm just spacing out, but that dealt with the political ramifications of an industry, but it didn't really deal with the day to day, hour to hour, minute by minute shit of a job. And this does. And like I said, I could have really, but if I had tried to write a much longer book, it would have gotten too repetitive. And so, I think I got the right balance of whatever it turned out to be 80,000, 90, 100,000. I think it's under 100, but whatever it is.
Yeah, I think the last passage I found quite moving, where it speaks about how Ben can't get published as well, and neither can his wife. I think that is somewhere along here towards the end. The passages too where he feels so grateful over receiving any kind of thanks from the teachers is also quite something, since he doesn't seem to get any kind of gifts at his other jobs that he was treated so poorly in. I mean, as a personal question, do you think this was your worst job in terms of your actual satisfaction in it?
No, I mean, I had a job before I worked for the company that the grocery company that fired me, that I called GDA in this book and a couple of other in some of the plays. Uh, that was a job where basically I remember they gave a class to people to learn how to lie better to customers. You know, what you know. We're going to teach you how to avoid answering a question that a customer asks you. I'd say, so wait a minute, this is a course on how to lie. No, 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 it's not about lying. It's just about not telling the truth.
Mhm.
So I didn't like that job. There were other jobs that I've had. This was a job, like many jobs, that could have been a good place to work. I mean, here in America, I don't know if it's the same in Canada, we school districts can opt out of paying into Social Security. So,
Mhm.
uh, so but they have to put you into like the teacher's pension plan for the state of Texas. So when I left there, I was able to get that money out, but so I had 18 months, 19 months, 18 and a half months, whatever it was, where I wasn't putting into Social Security, which was another reason to leave that job. This job I'm working at the supermarket is a regular job, and so I'm putting back into Social Security and also into the 401k plan there, and it's very tiring. I mean, I worked 9.5 hours today, and I'm 53 years old. But I mean, I'm probably stronger. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, when I was working at the other supermarket, I was a little bit stronger. I was doing physical work there. But by the same token, uh, I'm in better shape than most 53-year-olds. I could probably kick the ass of most 53-year-olds. And what's interesting is I was thinking. And I don't think it's mentioned in the book, but I know I've maybe touched upon in some of the plays, in that there was a girl years ago who I'm still friends with, even on Facebook. And she's a nice person and whatnot. Uh, and when we were teenagers, she rejected me because she didn't think I was physically attractive enough for her. But now, I mean, she's built like a beach ball, and she's round and whatnot. And while I'm not Brad Pitt or anything, I still have strong pecs. I can flex my pecs. I can go up and down like a rumba or something, and I can do 10, 15 pull-ups. And even though I've got back issues and whatnot here and there, and today I was just going, before we talked, I'm trying to buy some new sneakers, some Skechers that are slip resistant. I need to get certain types of shoes so that I don't have pain in my feet. But despite all of that, it would be funny, because if you told someone today that these two people, that one of them rejected the other, they would probably think that I was the one that rejected her, because while I'm not Brad Pitt, I'm probably okay looking, or and in better shape, and quote unquote sexier to most 50-year-old females than she would be to most 50-year-old males. But it's interesting how people change over time, and actually, that's a side issue that I'm working on in the play I'm doing right now. But again, this book is just a really, I think I said with the Vincetti brothers, one of the key scenes that opens the Vincetti brothers is the description of Gino Vincetti and how ugly he is, and how people, it's like that should be a black and white pan straight into his face if anyone makes a film of it. Uh, uh, and it's just staring straight at this ugly individual who's ugly on the outside and ugly on the inside. And that's what this is, a look at this job. This job is, in a sense, sort of a Gino Vincetti job.